after Occupy Wall Street, the establishment started talking about white supremacy and racism and making you hate because they can't have us come together because we came together. The Tea Party, Occupy Wall Street. We were both angry at Wall Street and the establishment. We wanted change in this country. So they realized how to separate us is by constantly talking about identity politics and race and race and race and race. And that's all. Even though racism has gone down, they want to make you think it's the biggest thing in the world.
I love watching Jimmy Dore. If you guys can't tell, I do like listening to Jimmy Dore because, again, he says things so effortlessly. He keeps it real. And right now he's calling out The View for the racism that they were portraying on their show. As far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm going to call it. And, this story has been going around and people have been talking about it. And they're hitting it spot on. They really are. And because this constant division on race, it's enough. Enough is enough now.
And this guy wrote a book debunking that, and he went on The View. And here we go.
First question that I should.
My first question is that a Whoopi mullet? I think that's what so we call that a.
That's my question too. Like, who told her to get that style? Okay.
Whoopi mullet.
I think we can.
I just want to coin that. I certainly hope viewers don't start hashtagging that everywhere. That would be terrible. The Whoopi mullet hashtag.
Now he wants us to hashtag it. Obviously, we're not. All right, so I think he's done with the jokes.
Okay, here we go.
Ask you to do is explain to folks what you mean.
That's got to frighten children. That haircut. That's got to be like, huh? Is there a monster coming? Because that's what.
All right, let me try to fast forward because I'm gonna end up like cracking up too much. But like he's spot on again.
Here we go.
By this,
she looks like an outer space villain. She looks like a villain you would encounter in outer space. That's what I would think. Okay, here we go. Like someone from Battlestar Galactica. That's what the villain.
He can't get through it, and I feel the same way. Like seriously, like I understand what he means. Like who told? Okay, all right, here we go for real.
It looked like
arguments for a colorblind America. What do you mean when you say that?
So a lot of people equate colorblindness to I don't see race or to pretending not to see race. I think that's a big mistake. We all see race, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. His name is Coleman Hughes. I don't know. I call him Colin Rugg. That's a different guy. But his name is Coleman Hughes. Sorry.
Yes, you did.
And we're all capable of being racially biased, so we should all be self-aware to that possibility. My argument is not for that. My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
And the reason I wrote this book, thank you.
Sounds like the audience of The View agrees with this guy. Guess who doesn't agree with this guy? All the ladies on The View.
And that's the one time when they clap, because they always clap like seals. And you could tell it was like one clap that went off, and then he was like, thank you. And then everybody was like, oh, it's okay. Because no matter how much people want to pretend like, oh, we're going to fight for racial justice by calling out racism in every corner, even down to the ice cream is racist. I mean, we all know that it's not real. Like, it's fake virtue. People who want to have headlines, they want to write opinion pieces on why Black women are more, prone to picking the wrong pencil for the test exam, and then they have too much anxiety. You see, like, I've seen these weird headlines, and it's tiring. But the world, I think the country is finally like, all right, we've had enough. But we shouldn't have never allowed it in the first place.
Here we go.
The reason I wrote
the ladies on The View cannot afford this level of harmony that he proposes because they are all about the elite othering. You don't need the people on The View if everyone's getting along. Here we go. Watch.
The book is because in the past 10 years, it has become very popular to, in the name of anti-racism, teach a kind of philosophy to our children and in general that says your race is everything. Right. And I think that is the wrong way to fight racism. And that's why I wrote this book at this time.
I'm sorry, baby. Yeah. Can I just point out that there is a reason for that? When I went to school, getting any information.
I always like to stop that part because he said, this is why I wrote this book at this time. at this time, a time for now. When I went to school, girl, didn't he already cover that part? Okay. By the way, guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.
Information about anyone's race was not taught. No history. There was no Black history. None of those things were taught. And here in America, 100 years ago, when I was a young woman, that's how people saw you. That's how they judged you. So I think
she's literally talking about 60 years ago when she was in school. That's
How
what
old is she?
She's 68 years old. He's talking about over 60, so 60 years ago. Okay.
And so that's the point. We have to live in this frozen time of racism of 60 years ago in order for Whoopi to feel vindicated. Whoopi needs to feel like she's so she has to feel like my problems still matter. Fix this, do something.
So your argument, and I've read your book twice because I wanted to give it a chance.
I don't agree.
Your argument that race has.
I'm going to challenge the veracity of her reading that book twice.
Everybody challenged the veracity of her reading that book twice.
And she's also descended from slave owners, just in case you know.
No.
And I forgot. He's right. You see why I like watching Jimmy Dore? Yeah. You're going through all of this. You're not descendants of slave, right? So what is this about, really?
Place in that equation is really fundamentally flawed, in my opinion.
Well, there's two separate questions. One is whether each racial group is socioeconomically the same. That I agree with you. They're not.
They're not. And the stats show that.
But of course, I agree with that fully. The question is, how do you address that in the way that actually targets poverty the best?
Great.
And what Martin Luther King wrote in his book, Why We Can't Wait, is he called it, we need a Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged. And he said, yes, we should address racial inequality. Yes, we should address the legacy of slavery. But the way to do that is on the basis of class. And that will disproportionately target Blacks and Hispanics because they're disproportionately poor. But it will be doing so in a way that also helps the white poor, in a way that addresses poverty as the thing to be addressed.
That part is true.
So when we had on that woman talked about the professional managerial class, she made the point that the greatest group of poor people in America are white. And so what he just said is if you go after socioeconomic conditions, it actually ends up helping Black and brown people. That's what you want to do, right? But it also helps poor white people.
And Sonny can't have it. And that's the problem with America today. I thought we're trying to solve the problem. We're all Americans, right? So we need to solve American issues.
True, but as you are a student of Dr. King, I'm not only a student of Dr. King, I know his daughter, Bernice.
Oh, so you better watch it. I know. So that is a logical fallacy. She is now. I have more credibility than you because I know his daughter.
Right. It is just so lame, yo. Like,
is something that the right has co-opted, and so many in the Black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right. And that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you?
He's never voted for a Republican.
You've said that you're a conservative.
So she just called him a charlatan, and she's going to backtrack on that going forward. She's going to pretend like those weren't her words, but that's her. This is her talking. Okay.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did. So, but my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Okay, let him answer.
First thing I think it's very important.
yeah, every time I watch this, man, it is disturbing. And it's like she's about to just bite his head off.
The quote that you just pointed out about doing something special for the Negro, that's from the book Why We Can't Wait that I just mentioned.
Yes.
A couple paragraphs later, he lays out exactly what that something special was.
Yes.
And it was the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged, a broad class-based policy.
But he also says you must include race.
No, he didn't. He says it's
he does.
I mean, look at her crazy eyes, y'all. Like, I mean, you know, he also said you must include race. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Say it with me. I mean, my God. Like,
Okay, well, everyone should go read the book Why We Can't Wait. Let's not get sidetracked by that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been co-opted by anyone. I've only voted twice, both for Democrats. Although I'm an independent, I would vote for a Republican, probably a non-Trump Republican if they were compelling. I don't think there's any evidence I've been co-opted by anyone, and I think that's an ad hominem tactic people use to not address really the important conversations we're having here. And I think it's better, and it would be better for everyone if we stuck to the topics rather than make it about me with no evidence that I've been co-opted.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to the.
I appreciate it.
No. That's not what you did. You called him a charlatan, and you said that you think the premise is fundamentally flawed, and you're being used by the right wing, and you're a charlatan. And now she's saying, "I'm giving you the opportunity to respond because he just cleaned your fucking clock."
And Jimmy Dore is right. And so, yes, I mean, he always does curse. Because Coleman did respond to her correctly. Nobody could watch this and think this is okay. Like, if any black podcast that if you run into is playing this clip and saying she had every right to do that to him. Yeah, he is a charlatan. Which I don't think that person exists at least on social media, right? Don't watch them anymore. I'm serious, because that comes from a place of misery. Sunny Hostins has to work out the fact that she owns that her ancestors owned slaves, her lineage. She has to work on that on her own. And this is where the borderline personality comes in when it comes to racism and race, where Sunny doesn't feel black enough because of that, because she can't connect to the struggle. Black is not struggle. Okay. Black is you. That's it. That's it. And that's all. But this right here, this isn't even, forget about being black. She looked ridiculous. Both her and Whoopi took the trophy home for being miserable hens. Yes, they did. And Jimmy Dore was right. He cleaned her effing clock.